So today I brought you into my home base. This is my dining room. You can see that I started my plants for the garden. And I'm quite excited about getting them into the garden, but they're still kind of tiny. Little tomatoes for the most part. Alright, so in this module, this is module 3, we'll be examining the work of Michael Omi and Howard Winnett. In particular, their influential book, Racial Formation in the United States, from the 1960s to the 1980s. In the chapter we read this week, they explain the workings of racial formation theory, which, keep in mind, is one of several approaches to understanding racial inequalities that we will consider during this course. As such, it is important for you to see it alongside these other theories and to compare and contrast it with those other approaches in your assignments for the course. When trying to understand all of these approaches, ask yourself what the similarities among them are and what the differences may be. When it comes to Omi and Winnett, they are developing a very specific way to explain the persistence of racial inequalities in organization in the United States. This might be hard to conceptualize, but think about the example they give on page 61. In Brazil, there are so many racial categories that the Brazilian social and political organization of racial groups doesn't make sense in the US or Canada. If Barack Obama or Tiger Woods were Brazilian, neither would be considered black, as they are conventionally known in the US and in Canada. Now think about that. What does that mean? Barack Obama, touted as the first black president, would not be considered black in Brazil. How is it possible for a concept, in this case race, that we often understand as describing natural human divisions could come to mean very different things in any given social context? And how does the particular conceptualization of race impact on social relations? Another important element of racial formation theory is that Omi and Winnett want us to consider race as a fundamental dimension of social organization in the U.S. They do so because many sociological accounts previous to theirs treat it as secondary to other more important social divisions, such as Robert Miles, who we read last week. In particular, they aim to respond to 3 approaches that they find fault in. First, ethnicity theory. Second, class-based approaches. And third, nation-state-based approaches. To which one does Robert Miles contribute? I'll leave you with a quotation from page 68. "The effort must be made to understand race as an unstable and decentered complex of social meanings constantly being transformed by political struggle." All right. See you next week.